Hi, Dr. Bridget with another prescription for success, and this is the first one of 3 about language. And the reason that it's important to explore language is that language creates our emotional state, it affects our physiology, and it creates how we behave and the results. And particularly in this time, it's really useful for resilience. It's useful when you're thinking about selling, and it's useful to get into rapport with people and just influence, negotiate, problem solve. So today I'm going to be talking about how to explore people's metaphors. So yesterday on the news I was listening to something about the virus just for 5 minutes, and in a single minute someone used about 10 metaphors, and I'll just give you a couple. So he said, it looks like the dust is settling. And I thought, what dust? Where's it settling to? I thought that's a really strange thing to say. And then he said it was a movable feast. And I think he must have been talking about the tiers that have been introduced in England. And he said the tiers are not set in stone. And they're all metaphors, they're all sort of stuff that's coming from him to give a message to us. And it's fascinating to know where those have come from. And yesterday then I dealt with a client, or I helped a client who said he's got a lot of fog in his head. And when I explored that further, he said, well, it's a sort of grey, swirly, as fog does, mess and fog. And he also said, I've been dealt a major body blow. And to have been dealt a major body blow is quite dramatic, isn't it? And sometimes people will just move on and think, ooh, that's hard. But, I said to him, well, what sort of body blow is that body blow? And he said to me, well, that's my heart, isn't it? And my heart is being cut in two. And because I knew that and I was able to further explore his heart being cut into two, we were able to put his heart back together again quite quickly, and he felt much more resilient as a result of it. So that's about me using people's metaphors. So, our language reflects our internal state. So if you've got people who are using metaphors and they're quite dramatic or even not dramatic, then you can actually think about, well, what's going on for that person? And the question to ask people if they say that sort of thing to you is, well, what sort of fog is that fog? And he said, well, it's grey and swirly, and we've got some NLP techniques that can sort that out pretty quickly. And then he, with his heart cut in two, I explored that in further detail with him, and we got some other things that was going on with his heart. So what sort of fog is that fog? What sort of cut is that cut? Is there anything else about the fog? Is there anything else about the heart? And you just get so much information, and it's totally fascinating. It's just blows my mind, really. So if you help people explore their metaphors, if you notice their metaphors, if you notice your own, then you can start to explore what's actually going on in your head, and that'd be really useful. So next week I'm going to be talking about how to get into rapport using people's language. So I'll see you then. If you've got any questions about this, or you've got any metaphors going on that you don't understand, then give me a shout, because we can explore that. And also I teach this sort of thing on my NLP courses. So bye for now, and see you next week.